Posting every week, you're staying consistent, but still your views are stuck. And here's the truth: YouTube doesn't reward uploads, it actually rewards better uploads. Today, I show you how we helped a 10-year-old veteran, a YouTube veteran, with 100,000 subscribers, and how we actually tripled his views. So, without even posting more. So today I'm going to break, first of all, the consistency myth and what actually drives growth on YouTube, the 4-step improvement loop, and last but not least, I need to give you a small business reality check, because what works for YouTubers doesn't work for entrepreneurs like us. So first of all, let me tell you a quick story. So someone reached out to us, a prospect, and we checked. He had over 1,000 videos posted. He had in total 20,000 subs. But the painful truth, when we checked the data, he had every video averaged like 100 views. That's the same thing as our channel, our fresh new channel, 77 subs, and he's having the same results. So there you can see, upload frequency is super irrelevant on YouTube. They don't care about this. And best example to break the myth, look at James Yanni. He is, as you can see, he's popping up once per year, and he's getting like 10 million views, 7 million views, 1 million views recently, 2 million views. And yeah, in total he has 28 videos. So you can see, like, the algorithm doesn't care how many times you show up per year. It's always just about the quality. Just a small but. So if you're in the early phase, like us for example, then you might be in the experimentation phase, the learning phase, because now you want to see, you just want to get, or maybe also in the rhythm, if content is like a thing that you're doing for the first time, and now you just want to learn what works, what doesn't work, get more signals, learn. That's all about what it's all about. And I actually changed. Like before, we just uploaded once per week, stayed consistent most of the times, but I did a deep dive on Alex Hormozi, how he actually grew to his 3 million subscribers he's having now. And when I checked what he did the first year, I was shocked. 140 videos in the first year. That means 3 videos every week. I was like, wow. And he didn't care in the beginning. He was just like speaking to his audience, which are like from his gym lords. So he's like, hey guys, hope you were crushing it over the weekend. So he was just sitting down, crappy image, and he really didn't do any presentation, nothing. And yeah, fast forward to today, obviously, now he's got better in front of the camera, better quality, all the fancy things as well. So yeah, that showed me, it's like, damn, that's how Alex Hormozi grew in his first phase, by just like getting into the rhythm, just posting, see what works, see what doesn't work. Now let's talk what actually matters on YouTube. And in fact, as I said, quality is so much more important if you check it back with James Yanni. And the truth is, YouTube does not care about you and me if we're posting videos. Truth is, they only care about the viewer. So they always talk about viewer satisfaction. In fact, even if you're thinking about like why they're doing this, it's quite simple, because they want to obviously keep a viewer the longest on the platform they can, because the longer the viewer stays, the more ads they can show, and the more this YouTube is gonna make money. So at the end of the day, YouTube is still a business and needs to make money. And most of the other platforms work the same, to be honest. But that's why it's always just about the viewer and not about us. So one of the most important metrics is your channel's churn, same as in business. So if you always need to hustle every week getting new people, because you're always starting from zero, yeah, you're gonna burn out very fast. And in fact, most investors always check it on your business churn. So yeah, if you can't keep the people, it's a huge problem. And the same thing goes for YouTube. So here's just a snapshot, a random snapshot from one of our clients. And these are just percentile, okay? So the actual numbers behind obviously look different. And one thing I just want to mention, we always speak into 80%, as you can see, 80% of new people. So I've seen too many people always starting, it's like, hey, welcome back, and it's like 80% of the people's like, I've never been here before. So yeah, don't waste your time on this. As I said, so these are all in percentage, so check the numbers, the actual numbers behind it, to see, okay, is the number of my casual and regular viewers in total growing? Because obviously if the new viewers are growing with it, then everything is fine. So always check that these actual numbers are growing. And just also a quick note, so this channel is also posting shorts, and that's why most of the new views are actually coming from. So if we would deduct them, that probably would be more of a 70 to 30 split of new viewers versus returning. But that said, it's still a good split. Just check monthly, is this number growing? If not, what we're doing differently. So there's actually a simple formula, I'd say, on YouTube, which is like, this is the simple YouTube formula. Most people actually do the reverse, and this is actually then how you can grow then your system. That's the same concept we use for our client. This veteran who has been on YouTube for 10 years, who has 100,000 subs. And the problem was he was focusing too much on the video itself, on the content. Like, they were like so focused on the quality rather than everything what comes before. Because fact is, if you only focus on the last link, it's like a link, then yeah, all in the previous ones are all broken. It's like, okay, this can't save the rest. So you always need to check then, as we have here from left to right, the idea first. So if the idea is not resonating with your viewers, with your audience, then you can have the best video in the world, it won't save it. Afterwards comes the click, so it's always very important that our audience is clicking, because YouTube is not a video platform itself, it's always what we refer to a watch and click platform, because if no one clicks, no one watches, and last but not least, we focus then on the hook, so it means the first 30 seconds of a video, because there's usually always the biggest drop, you can see it, the biggest drop, and if he's having like, for example, a 50%, and then it starts to stabilize, yeah, you're gonna end up like 10%, let's say, for a very long video. But if we can save it somehow already at the 70, then yeah, then a 30-40% is much more realistic to keep it at the overall retention at 40%. And yeah, actually that's, as I said, we helped him to triple the views with half the efforts. Before working with us, he had like 8, 9, 10 uploads per month. And actually when we started working as well, he did like a small experiment and said, let's upload every work day. And so they had like 20 uploads, but it didn't really result in greater efforts. In fact, the team was pretty burnt out. They couldn't really focus on it. They were just throwing the stuff out basically, and that's it. I mean, I can't blame them. And now we are actually at 4, and as we said, like, we tripled the views, we tripled the leads, we tripled the revenue. And we can actually, if we're going back to the YouTube formula, we can actually see this everything inside of the analytics as well. So for the idea, for example, it's always about the impressions. So you can check your impressions. Okay, are the impressions going higher or going lower? Because just think about it. If you're talking about a topic only 10 people know in the whole world, you can't expect to get thousands of views. It's impossible, because they just clearly don't exist. So if your goal is to get more and more and more and more views, then you should check impressions, like, is this resonating to my audience, and how well is it resonating? That's that. So we are not in control, obviously, to who YouTube is showing our ideas / videos. So that's why it's also important that you're having good metrics like the rest of it. I'm going to show you in a bit, because then you just, okay, more people are satisfied, as we said, viewer satisfaction. I can show it to more people basically now. So let's try to pull in more viewers, and that's how it works. Then the click is simply just the CTR in short, or click-through rate. That's how we can see how well is now the title plus the thumbnail working. So this is like the most, the biggest major effects of how well the click is working. And then we're having the hook, as we said. This are the first 30 seconds to see, okay, are people staying? Like, are we delivering on the promise of title and thumbnail, or is it not really resonating with them? Because in fact, most people make up their mind between like 10 and 15 seconds, and that's why we're also having there always the biggest drop. And YouTube always shows us in the analytics, like, hey, you had 54% in the first 30 seconds, that's below average. And last but not least, let me quickly disappear, we're having then obviously the overall retention. And these are then the metrics we changed to get our clients to much higher numbers in YouTube wise, and also on, obviously, on the business side, meaning leads. And if you want similar results, we actually open a community where we help you doing all these things. We're actually top 10, actually top 7 currently on school regarding YouTube. So join right now. And let me talk then about the 4-step improvement loop, so that you can also implement it for yourself as well. So it's always about learning, applying, measuring, and then just repeating. So that's said is what we always do is find what worked. So always go, okay, what were the top 10% videos, but also what are the worst ones, because we can also learn from the bad ones. And then we obviously need to find out why did things work, why did things not work, and then we need to double down on this, maybe refine, so that we always improving every month. Because as we said, consistency alone isn't the only thing, because we constantly need to improve. And then we having what we usually do is to not always, because if you always just check in last week's video, yeah, you can't really adapt, and also you're gonna burn out, because the smartest way is always to batch. So what we usually do is like, okay, we are now in the next let's say a phase where we're gonna post now 2 to 3 months of content, and then we're going back, okay, what went well, what didn't work well, how did this new angle work, how did this format work, etc., etc. And then we can go, because as we said, we can also analyze the things that did not work. So for example, you can see, okay, there's this one hook with 70%, and then there's the other one with 30. Okay, what was the difference here? And then we can also see, okay, let's just let's repeat this 30% to see if it was maybe just the topic, or maybe it was just we didn't deliver on the promise, that the title and thumbnail was like totally weird, that people felt like it was clickbait. So this is then what we obviously need to analyze. And then here a quick reality check for the entrepreneurs. Always return of investment overviews, because it can happen that you're getting lots of views, but where are the clients? That's why we always say views don't pay the bills, clients do. So for most of the times for us, the goal is to increase how many clients we generated with the video. So we also need then to check for a video. Okay, views is not the end goal. Okay, so we need to double down now on the ones that generated the most clients. That can, because we got million of views, but it can also mean that we had a video topic, format, whatever it is, or theme that converted so well that we just need to double down on this. And it's not just about the views. In fact, sometimes it's also easier, especially in business. And business, going viral is very, very difficult, because obviously we're not here talking to a mass audience like Mr. Beast. And that's why it's easier to actually find the videos that convert better than the ones which didn't convert so well. So for example, we had this video on our channel, was one of our best, well, actually was the best video on our channel here, with 800 views. So it's like 10 times more than the rest, because usually we are at around 100 views, but it only resulted in 2 clicks and 0 clients. And then we had this other video, which was actually our first ever video. It was a podcast masterclass where we got like very, very deep into it. And this got 200 views in total, 20 clicks, and more than 2 booked calls at least. I was like, okay, cool. Now we understand, for example, that this format, this masterclass is working way better than the previous one, which was about AI and shorts, which was way more top of the funnel. And if you then want to obviously know what other, like there are way more topics or like formats actually that convert much better, we ranked actually lots of views formats for you to see which ones convert very, very well and which ones don't. Because as I said, return over investment rather than views, because views don't pay the bills, clients do. So watch this video next. It's a full list of all the videos that that we see which are working for businesses very well. So see you there.